Do you have any of those specific circumstances that you kind of put yourself in that stand out?
Yeah. I'll share a good one. And I gave you a teaser on this one at our meetup. Where to start this story? It's a very long story, so I'm going to give you the really quick version.
Oh man, you can. We got time.
Yeah, it's a long one. I'll start on a rooftop in Chiang Mai. I was in Chiang Mai. I'd already been living in Thailand for about a year, and originally I was in a really small town, Sawan Kalok, where it was literally me and 3 other foreigners living in this town. No one else spoke English. I was an English teacher. It was just very small. And after putting in my year there teaching at this school, I really wanted to move to Chiang Mai. It's this mountain village up in northern Thailand, very jungly, very Rasta. There are little Rasta bars and things like that, just to kind of give a little settings. Anybody that's been to Chiang Mai, they know what I'm talking about right now. This is one of my favorite cities in the world. And my intention was to go there and get a job. But the problem is that, especially during, the past couple decades, Thailand does this thing where they like to, have a coup every few years. It's like the Olympics there. So they were experiencing one of these political coups, and this one got particularly bad, to the point to where there was a curfew, and they had shut down the schools, and it just wasn't really a good time to be looking for a job, or really a good time to be in Thailand at all.
Here you are.
Yeah. And so here I am on the rooftop of a guest house, because we can't go out because the Rasta bars are shut down. There's no place to dance, So sitting on the rooftop, and I meet this guy from Australia, and he's telling a group of us about what he does. And he's a travel writer for a small newspaper in Geraldton, Australia. And he's going on about how he just travels around, and he goes on little adventures, and he needs to write, so many words, and it gets submitted and gets published once a week. And I'm sitting here, and my wheels start spinning. I go, wait a minute. So you're telling me that you need to do something stupid enough every week to write a story about it? I'm like, I am your guy. Yeah. So I traveled with him for about 2 years. No. Yeah. So what do we immediately do? Well, we decide that we're going to go to Laos. We're going to get out of Thailand, remove ourselves from the environment, and go on a little adventure. So Josh and I and a gal from Saskatchewan, Canada, go up to Laos, and we have this idea that we are going to get a boat and sail it down the Mekong River. This is our big idea. Again, step 1, believe. Step 2, get involved. And what did I believe at that time? I believe that I am a vagabond. Yeah. I believe that I'm a lost boy, right? Yeah. So I'm going to do what a lost boy does, whatever I want, right? Yeah. Main character energy.
Yeah.
So we go to Luang Prabang, big city in Laos, and we exchange our lonely planet for an SAS, Special Forces survival guide. We buy machetes, we buy rope, all these things that we're going to need.
Yeah, for sure. Going on an adventure,
to be on a boat and sail it down the Mekong River, right? We have no idea what we're doing. None of us are, boat experts. I was probably the one with the most boating experience, growing up on the river, Missouri River and stuff like that, which is still very limited and not very good.
Yeah, what the comparison between the Missouri River and the Mekong?
Yeah, we just didn't care. So we take all of our stuff and we head up north, up the Namu River, and we end up in this really small fisherman village where we're going to go and we're going to buy a boat. And problem is, turns out it is illegal to sell a boat to foreigners in Laos, probably for good reason, right? Because they don't want us killing ourselves on the Mekong River. But we are not deterred, right? This is we are the lost boys. We're gonna make this happen. Yeah. So again, just step 1, believe. Step 2, get involved. And the 3 of us, were just a mix of just, we weren't saying no to any bad ideas. I mean, good ideas, whatever. So what do? We go into the jungle. We start cutting down bamboo and we build a raft.
Oh no.
So for 3 days, we're sneaking off into the jungle and we're cutting down bamboo and we're building this raft, and we build this awesome raft. This thing is so cool. And
You have to send us pictures of it. So
Yeah.
oh yeah, I got
so
some.
we can put
I
it
got
up
some on
the-
my phone. Yeah, I'll send them over to you. And so we finish our raft, and the locals, this is a very small town. They knew us. They had gotten familiar with us. They knew we were around. They didn't know what we were up to. They didn't know why we were going into the jungle. But we get our raft and we put it on the water. We put it on the Namu and we sail down and we bring it down to the village. We pull it up. And I mean, as we're riding down, you know, some of them are giving us thumbs up like, yeah. And some of them are just going like, oh, you
And
know,
how big
This
is
is
this
a
thing?
terrible idea.
I mean, it's like probably twice the size of your table here.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good
Yeah,
raft.
good raft.
So we had a lot of rope. Right? I'm going to utilize that rope. So we pull it up and we go and we get water, we get supplies. We're on our way. Right. So, we come back to our raft and there's some guys there and they're asking us in as good of English as they can, you know, what's your plan? Like, what's going on here? We're like, oh, we're going to sail it down. We're going to Luang Prabang. We're going to make our way back. And they're just like, no, you're not. We're like, oh, well, yeah. We're just going to write it down. No big deal. And we never knew if this was a threat or if they were warning us, but they go, no, you sail, and they go like this, like, are you threatening us or are we going to kill ourselves? We're not sure. So they leave and, we get on the boat. We get,
All right, they're gone. Let's
we
go.
get on the raft
Yeah.
and we start going. So we go down probably just like a mile the first day, just testing it out. And then we stop. And the first night we stay on a sand barge on the side, and, you know, success. We party. We had a bottle of Lao whiskey. We drink up that night and have a little party. And then the next day, we're waking up, and Josh and I, we take the raft down a little bit and we're trying to catch breakfast. We're going to go fishing, right? We're Lost Boys. That's what we do. And Molly is still up on the sand barge around a bend, and then it curves around, and she's like signaling us. She's like, they're coming. We're like, what's going on? Well, anyway, the police, you know,
Yeah.
the people that had stopped us the day before, they're bringing their boat down, and they find us. They're not happy, so they they put us on our raft, and they tie the raft to the boat, and they pull us back up to this town, and they bring us to their jail. It's a hut, right? It's like the size of this room. And now keep in mind, I had been in this small town in Thailand for a year now, and my Thai had actually gotten like pretty usable. And Laotian is very close to Thai. Just a couple words changed. They don't know, they don't suspect that I understand what they're saying. And so I can hear like the main police officer talking to the one that has the really broken English, telling him to, you know, what to ask us, etc. And they are just confused. They have no idea what to do with us. And so we are purposefully trying to confuse them. They're saying,
Well, and you're not doing anything illegal. I don't know.
Yeah. I still don't know. Still don't know. And they're asking us where we got the bamboo, and we're all, I mean, the three of us point in different directions. It's hilarious. It's like a comedy sketch. And they're so confused. And I hear them trying to figure out what to do with this. And it's turning into that they're going to shake us down, right? They're going to see what we can get out of this. And so they decide that what we had done wrong was that we illegally took someone's bamboo, and, you know, and they're pointing to the other side of the river. We weren't over there. It doesn't matter. So we're getting ready for the real shoe to drop. And they, again, like long story short, they come to this number, and they say this number, and we're thinking it's going to be this huge number. And then like we convert in our heads, and it's like $30. so we're like, oh yeah, trying to play it off. It's like, I guess we can do that, And so there was a funeral or something like that day. And so the two officers or the two, whatever they are, they needed to leave to go to this funeral. And they're like, okay, well, we're not done here. You guys need to stick around, and we're gonna figure this out later. So they leave. They go to the funeral. We're sitting again in a.
So you guys are just like in a hut. Like,
yeah, we're in a hut about this size of the room,
like
and
locked in, or is it like
no, I know.
Okay. Okay. Like they're not like
No.
you're not like handcuffed or anything.
No.
You're just like sit here.
right. So I
Stay.
So I look at Josh. Josh looks at me. We look at Molly, and we're like, we should get out of here, right?
Doors open, right?
So we left. There was one boat ferry. Like, this was the only way to get in and out of town. There's this one boat ferry that came. It came around the same time every day. So we just ran and we got all of our stuff and we jumped on the ferry. We abandoned the raft.
Lost the raft.
And but we escaped from prison, I guess you could say. And then we got back to Luang Prabang and went back to our old guest house. Just kind of went in, blended in again, and that was my 25th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
He saw Hangover 3 and was like, how can I recreate this over in Southeast Asia?
Yeah.
Dude, that's wild. So then how long did you stay in Thailand? Or so you went from Thailand to where then? At what point do you come back to the United States, and like what kind of influenced that?
It's a long story. It's a lot of bouncing around. So it was. So I've lived legally, like with residence in 7 countries.
How many without? Illegal.
Yeah. Lao, apparently. Yeah. So legally, I've lived in Netherlands, Germany, Portugal, Romania, Australia, Thailand, and America. So there's a lot of bouncing around here, there, stuff like that. I mean, another big part of this story is that when I was studying in Germany, I met the girl that's now my wife. She was also studying abroad. She's from Romania. So there's still a lot of, traveling to Romania each year and things like that. But yeah, bouncing around for quite a few years. And then at some point, Elena and I moved back to Thailand together, and we both started teaching English at a college in Bangkok, and we lived together for long enough to realize that we wanted to get married and start a family and become adults. So we decided to move to America, really with the intention to come here, get her a blue passport to make traveling easier, because there's a lot fewer visa restrictions for Americans than it was for Romanians at that time. So we wanted to get the blue passport, get some of that American money, and really piss off again and go live abroad. And that's what we've been working on since we moved back. And
How long have you been back now?
so we moved back in 2014.
Okay.
So 2014 is now 2025, and we're almost there. We are. There's been some delays.
COVID.
Well, yeah, COVID, yeah.
2 years
and having 2 children,
Okay.
right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
How old
having,
are they?
Our kids are 7 and 2.
Okay.
And of course that moves the goalpost a bit. When it's just 2 people, being a vagabond is fun. It's kind of the goal. When you have kids, you need to start being a little bit more responsible. You need to think about what that means for, their future and things like that. So that moved the goalpost quite a bit. And it went from, hey, let's get $1,000 of passive income to, let's make this our new goal and then start traveling again. But our intention at this point is to start homeschooling our children next year, and start traveling and living abroad with them. We're going to keep a home base here in the St. Louis area, but start doing what we call like a study abroad program for the kids. We're thinking about going to South America. That's the intention for fall of next year. And and just continue to live purposefully and reintroduce a lot of travel and new perspective back into our future.
Wow.
Sounds like a great way to shape well-rounded children.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've heard you guys talking about this in some of your other episodes, but just the education system, and is this right for where we are in this influx right now with our society? I'm kind of in the same mindset as you guys, that we are really, our school system is not reflecting the future that we're coming into. So we're by introducing some of this perspective, again, going back to perspective for our children, giving them the opportunity to experience different things, experience different cultures and opportunities. It's going to help them at an earlier age identify who they are, identify their mission, their vision, their values, so that they can move forward with that, because it makes decision-making easier. Going back to the coaching aspect of it, when we can replace the thought of, I am going to, let's put this back in the context of financial independence and wealth and things like that. When I can replace the feeling of, I am making this purchase because it makes me feel good now, and replacing that with the feeling of, I choose to tell my money where to go and how I spend my money, because I have a clear vision for my future. I know why I'm investing, because I know how that accumulates into opportunity for the future. And then I know what I'm doing and who I am.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny because the guest we just had on episode's going to come out right before yours. Was talking about how he's divorced and has in a new relationship. He's got 3 kids. She's got 4. Her 4 are all homeschooled. His 3 are all in there. And to see the difference between the two of them, or the two groups, he's like, yeah, the homeschool kids work for 3 hours a day and get as much done in those 3 hours as my kids do when they go to school for 8.
Yeah. A word that I use all the time is intentionality. And, I think that the school system is acceptable, totally acceptable. Mm-hmm. And I think that the school that our daughter's going to now is totally acceptable. And I think that there's value to it, et cetera, but are they being intentional? Mm-hmm. And it's challenging to be intentional when you have so many kids at so many different learning levels, with so many different goals, et cetera, when you really break down how much they are accomplishing in that amount of time, you really realize that it's not just that they're going there to learn. It's that, again, what is our environment? We're being shaped to just think that being somewhere for 8 hours is the goal, right? And our work experience is also shaped that way, around that mentality. I show up to work, I punch in, I stay there for 8 hours, and I get paid. Whereas entrepreneurship is all about changing that belief system to being intentional, and the time that I put in, I'm going to get compensated for the value that I'm bringing. It's a very different way of looking at it.
Absolutely. Well, how long after you got back to the States did you start real estate, start coaching, start all of that?
Yeah. I got back, and it was actually really challenging coming back, because at that point, what was my identity? My identity was, you can drop me anywhere in the world, in any of these other countries, and I will thrive. But being dropped back into America, I'm just like, I don't know how to function inside of this society anymore. I don't know how to create the resume and things like that. So I did need to start over. However, I was drawn to entrepreneurship because it was more in alignment with my values. It's more in alignment with what we were just talking about. You're getting compensated for what you're doing. So I was actually reaching out to some people, one person in particular, who I had met while traveling, and he was really influential on me because he was another teacher in Thailand, and he was just there as like it was just fun for him, right? Oh, this is an experience I'm going to do. And he made all of his money. He was a real estate developer in Boston, still is. And he's just like, oh, I'm just here for the experience. And he was making more money just like sitting on the couch, passively back in Boston than he was. I'm like, hey, this is my full-time thing. And you're just here, kicking around. Yeah, exactly. Hanging out for the experience. And so when I came back, I was really fascinated with that.
Let me give you an experience.
Yeah.
Take you on one of my adventures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did.
Good wrestling.
We did. Yeah. Yeah. And so when I came back, I reached out to him. I'm just like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. He's like, well, you need to get into real estate. Like it's perfect for you. And I didn't really know what that meant, but I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's go figure it out. Step one, believe. Step two, get involved. So yeah, I went to a real estate office, local Keller Williams office, and I sat across the table from Russ Nolting, and he slid the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book over, and he said, I'm not going to teach you how to be a real estate agent. I'm going to teach you how to be a business owner. And that spoke to me. So immediately I chose to think of myself as a business owner and not as just a salesperson or anything like that. So that led to different opportunities within the organization. I decided that the sales side was not something that I really wanted to do. So I really injected myself into being part of the leadership and office and things like that. Had an opportunity with a really successful team on the operations side that gave me an opportunity which I really hadn't earned or maybe didn't deserve at the time as a team leader of an office that was being launched out in St. Charles County. I made the most of the opportunity and really thrived in parts of it. In particular, working with other agents to help them develop their businesses and help them to scale and et cetera. And so the coaching part was really the part that I thrived in and really enjoyed. The productivity of the office was doing really well. But in the end, I chose that I wanted to be an entrepreneur myself, and I wanted to start my own business. So in 2019, I stepped away from that and started my own business.